before we start, I want to take the time to thank Oregon Rail Fan for requesting this video. If you guys haven't subscribed to him, please do so. If any of you guys would like to request a video, let me know in the comments below and I will get to you as soon as possible. And as always, if you guys like what I make, you can always like, comment, subscribe, and set the notification bell to all so you never miss an episode. So with everything else aside, let's do this.
Soft ground almost buried the first locomotive and the other cars tumbled onto their sides. 88 passengers were aboard, 35 suffered minor injuries.
Area residents were evacuated as chemicals from the derailed train burned out of control. Fire officials...
And suddenly, the two engines and the next three cars were involved in a fiery maelstrom.
Multiple news reports are played simultaneously during the beginning of a disaster movie cliche. Vehicle stalls out over the railroad tracks montage.
Hey Jim, what's going on? Oh, the damn throttle is stuck again.
And yet, said locomotive is still in service instead of being pulled to the shop for repairs because railway logic does not exist in this universe. Even though that this movie supposedly takes place in America, this railroad sign says railway crossing instead of railroad crossing. Are we sure that this thing doesn't take place in Canada instead? These kids just sit in their seats and watch as the train charges at them. Seriously, if this is real life, they all would have been dead.
Chance! Dad's here!
Sitting this kid's parents for naming their kid Chance.
All your dad's trying to say is...
Oh, I think my dad can tell me what he means, Megan.
Teenagers.
I forgot. Does everything look okay?
Everything's fine. If you like boys.
Not gonna lie, that sounded kinda sus.
Okay, Wally, that's a lock. Ease off the throttle a bit.
The controls are a little touchy.
Wally says the controls are a little touchy even though this guy's supposed to be a veteran engineer. This rail car leaks hydraulic fluid despite being fitted with Westinghouse air brakes. Making out in public.
This is Denver Control. Eastbound freight 642. You are clear from Stillwater straight through to Denver.
Don't you think you should have told him that before the train departed from the yard? Making out in front of your kids. Throwing rocks at a train. Seriously, even in the 1990s, no one was fool enough to do this. Under normal circumstances, when the air pressure drops this low, the train will automatically go into emergency brake. But then again, this is atomic train, so... Also, despite giving us numerous locations in America, this entire movie was filmed in British Columbia. Because reasons.
Office.
Ed, got a problem.
You'd better come take a look at this cliche.
My brakes are gone and my dynamics will not hold. I have flammable chemicals and hazardous materials on board.
You know, if I didn't know any better, I'd say this movie is just a way crappier B-movie version of Unstoppable. Try to change my mind. Does anyone mind explaining to me why this locomotive has two different sets of road numbers?
Way too fast. What the hell do we do now?
Oh, I don't know. Maybe try turning the wheel of the handbrakes on the caboose? Jesus, it's like this movie forgot the handbrakes were a thing all of a sudden.
Oh, cowboy.
This guy's gonna get himself killed.
Foreshadowing!
Mr. President, you may want to see this.
Oh great, here's another you better come take a look at this cliche. You know, for a heavy-duty rail coupler made out of steel and iron, it sure broke way too easily. This movie somehow has enough runtime to make us watch these two make out for the third time. Dun dun dun! This rear-end collision seems oddly reminiscent of another runaway train flick from the mid-1980s. Can't quite figure out which one it is though.
A chase locomotive attempting to aid the runaway rear-ended it at the crest of Jackson Summit. The atomic train now appears to be headed downhill into Denver.
I'm pretty sure that we already know that, but whatever. Thanks for the roll credits, Mrs. News Reporter.
All right.
right, now's your chance, both of you.
I ain't leaving yet.
You gotta go before she gets up too much speed.
I'm not leaving my train.
Wally refuses to abandon his precious locomotive even though there's literally thousands more just like it on the railroad. Oh, now he decides to jump off. We interrupt Atomic Train to bring you to the Super 8 portion of the movie. I guess this movie was so low budget at the time that they didn't even have the time to make a proper damaged 642 model. Whatever, I'll just tack on an additional 15 cents and call it a day.
A train carrying flammable chemicals and a Russian-designed atomic bomb derailed this afternoon near Denver, Colorado.
The president begins to tell everyone what has happened, and at this point I'm like, yeah, no, his leg is definitely broken.
John, we gotta go now. We gotta get you out of there.
Instead of repetitively telling him something that he already knows, maybe go in there and actually help him get unstuck? Jeez, am I supposed to be rooting for this guy or what?
People, in an hour, we are going to have our first wave of refugees here from Denver. If there is no blast, and that's the end of it, we can thank God. But if there is a blast, thousands of wounded and weary people will be arriving here all night long.
And the day after, and possibly the day after that. Has this woman forgot how big Denver actually is?
As the atomic train's flaming wreckage hinders efforts to defuse the bomb. High-altitude surveillance reveals a grim picture of twisted burning rail cars, and somewhere within, the contraband Soviet bomb.
Also, can we just talk about the fact that 642 has a caboose at the end of its consist, even though those things have been out of commission since the 1980s? Like, if this is real life, they would have put a flashing rear end device on the last car to signify the end of the train. Also, these air brake lines end up coming loose. Yet 642 is still free rails around the mountain instead of coming to a dead halt like a regular train would. Impatient motorists.
Slow down, man. You're going too fast. People are going to crash behind us.
Backseat driving.
Tom, the sodium metal's leaking.
All helicopters, abort the drops. Abort the water drop. What did he say?
I didn't catch that.
Dude, you literally just heard him say abort the drops. Oh wait, this is one of those moments where a simple miscommunication leads to a natural disaster, isn't it? Boom goes the dynamite. Movie rips off the CGI mushroom cloud from all the Doomsday movies.
Mac? Please be careful.
You know I will.
No, you won't.
As nuclear night grips Denver, information is sketchy.
Out of all the post-nuclear blast names you could think of, you chose Nuclear Night. Dude, you can't be serious right now. I've seen better emotions out of the fourth Final Destination movie than this. Yeah, no, he definitely fell off that ladder.
Dad! You okay?
Yeah, I'm okay.
No, you're not. The only thing that's missing in this shot are the nuclear fallout sirens going off in the background. You mean to tell me that these guys still haven't reached the highway yet? Can we go for one disaster movie where we don't have any main character deaths?
Perhaps the greatest danger we human beings have ever faced is our own genius for invention.
Try telling that to the geniuses behind the North Korean missiles. Their genius level is off the charts. What a brief but beautiful example of teamwork makes the dream work. Now let's hurry up and wrap this thing up and give it to your kid on Christmas before I lose my sanity.